Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a little girl who lived with her granny. One day, she decided to pay her a surprise visit. The forest path was magical. Flowers of all colors carpeted the ground, and trees with delicate blossoms lined the way. As the sun peeked through the leaves, it sparkled like 1,000 tiny diamonds. Birds sang sweet songs from their branches, and butterflies fluttered around the girl, dancing in the warm breeze. Deep in the woods, a cunning wolf was taking advantage of the sunny day to catch some sleep. He had just woken up when he heard the sound of crunching leaves and saw our little girl skipping happily along the path. He quickly realized that if he wanted to have a nice snack, he needed to follow her. So the wolf set off after her, keeping a safe distance. Meanwhile, the girl continued on her way, completely unaware of the danger lurking behind the trees. She hummed a little tune as she walked, swinging a red picnic basket that matched her hooded cape. The wolf couldn't help but feel a little hungry just looking at her. As she approached her granny's house, the wolf knew he had to hurry. He took off, running as fast as his 4 legs could carry him. He raced past the girl, who was just about to knock on the door, and slipped inside just as she rang the bell. Little Red Riding Hood waited patiently for her granny to open the door. But when the old woman finally appeared, something seemed a bit off. She had bright, shiny eyes, sharp teeth, and she was wearing a very stylish red hood. "Oh, Granny, what big eyes you have," said Red, a bit alarmed by the change in her appearance. "All the better to see you with, my dear," replied the woman with a sly smile. The girl noticed that her granny's hands were also rather pointy. "And what big hands you have, Granny." "All the better to hug you with," said the wolf, trying to look as friendly as possible. But Red wasn't fooled. She had a feeling something wasn't right. "And your nose, Granny, is it really that long?" she asked suspiciously. "Of course it is," the wolf huffed, pretending to be annoyed by her questions. "What else would I have, my dear? A short nose. Okay, you trying to insult me?" Okay, Red wasn't convinced, but she didn't want to cause any trouble. So she let the matter go and went over to give her granny a big hug. The moment she got close enough, the wolf pounced. But before he could do anything, a loud voice boomed from outside. "Who's there?" Startled by the sudden intrusion, the wolf quickly hid under Red's cloak, hoping whoever had come would chase her out of the house. He had just managed to get his head under the edge when the door burst open and a handsome prince stood in the doorway. "I brought you a pie, Granny," he said, holding out a covered dish. "Oh, thank you, my dear," said the wolf, trying to sound like an old woman. "Come in and sit by the fire while I finish baking." The prince did as he was told, sitting down next to Red, who was still hugging her granny very tightly. The wolf thought he had done it this time, but then the prince turned to him and said, My, what big ears you have, Mr. Wolf." And the cunning predator knew he had been caught. With a final surge of energy, he jumped out from under the blanket, knocking both the prince and Red off their chairs. Then he ran as fast as he could out of the house and into the forest. Red was very scared, but the prince soon came to her aid. He helped her to her feet and brushed the crumbs off her dress. Then they both started to laugh, happy that she had been saved from the hungry wolf. And so Red Riding Hood learned that day that it is important to trust your instincts and never keep secrets from the ones who love you. For who knows what dangers might be lurking around the corner.